Hello and welcome. You may notice that this is a slightly shorter episode than usual. That's because I didn't start recording until we were really far through. So I'm going to give you a little recap. So, the party was awoken by noises coming from they were awoken by dwarves who had heard noises coming from the entrance to the mine. After a little bit of thinking, they opened it up and they found many Dwagar on the other side who were trying to break into the fortress with tools and things. Dwagar are evil underground dwarves. Dwarves are underground, but they're like extra underground, never seen the sun, live in the caverns. It's a different kind of twisted evil dwarf. There were loads of Dwagar on the other side. There was a big fight. It was very cool. One of them turned invisible and escaped back down the mine shaft. Akeem dove down the mine shaft, fell 300 feet before he managed to cast fly while he was in midair, and then he rejoined the staircase, so he got below it. It was like a big spiral staircase mine shaft thing with a big hole in the middle. Then he turned invisible. So he was invisible waiting below where the invisible Dwagar was. So the Dwagar just bumped into him. Neither of them spotted each other. They were both really sneaky and invisible, so neither of them spotted each other in the dark on this staircase. So they bumped into each other, and after a little exchange, Akeem got grappled off the edge of the staircase into a 600-foot drop, having already used fly for the day. So, that is where we will join our party. Let's get right to that, shall we?
Yeah,
it's a hit.
And
He dies.
What?
Yes.
Vengeance. Preemptive vengeance.
To be effective, you have to get your retaliation in first. You have retaliated for Akeem.
Yeah, preemptive retaliation.
There's a
I hit
gurgle.
So I hit the record button just because. So the recording broke early on. And then I was being kind of lazy, and I was like, oh, it's fine. This was just intended to be like a crafting, fortress building, roleplay kind of session. And then there were Dwagar in the mines, and then they chased them down the mine shaft. And now Akeem is 100 feet from the bottom.
And it's Akeem's in the
and
air,
falling.
to clarify.
Yes.
Unless Iona wants to use her extra attack action to do something.
I don't think she can.
what am I gonna do?
I don't know.
Shoot the guy again.
The other bird.
The guy's dead.
Oh, is he dead?
dead?
I sorry,
Yeah,
I
he's
was
dead.
tuned out. I was looking up rules for
No,
falling.
I know.
We're gonna need some big fall damage calculations.
It's alright. Rules as
Okay.
written. There is a maximum amount of fall damage you can take.
Perfectly flies down in, and then she sees the outline
re-
running and just arrow right through its throat and it collapses.
Okay, Akeem.
So Katie, I believe I take 20d6 falling damage.
Yes.
Maximum
Would you like me to roll that? Would you like to roll
I
that?
would like you to roll that.
Okay.
You are the ground.
20. I am the ground. 20d6 of falling damage.
Mm-hmm. I believe I am not instantly dead.
That is not Chunky Salted.
You are not instantly dead. That's true.
Wow.
However, I'm unconscious.
Yeah.
And I am dying.
I believe you said you wished to roll to see if he landed on the pebble.
Yes.
I don't know how you want to do that.
Well, I think there's like a small the chance of hitting the stone. Like
It's there's
small.
a small glowing bit of stone down there.
Yeah. Which is the only way the birds will be able to see where Akeem is. I think.
For reference of anyone who is now watching this, having only just tuned in, most of the way down the shaft as I was falling, I was screaming out a prayer to the god of luck. I just want that to be on the record.
You want that to be known.
I want it to be known. Sorry, please carry on.
It's about an average roll too.
It's
really
not,
close to average.
it could have been a much worse roll by
It could
my
have been.
standards.
It would not have to have been much worse than that.
No. So, falling down the mine shaft, I'll put you at the bottom. Let's go for a D20, and if it's 1 to 3, so it's like quite a low, because it's not that likely you're going to hit the stone, but 1 to 3, you cover up the light
It completely
stone,
covers and the light is blocked.
and the light is blocked.
For record, the average on that roll was 70, so it's pretty
Yeah,
close.
yeah. But it could have gone worse. It could have gone worse.
Would you like to roll?
I'm happy for you to roll that.
Okie dokie.
Because Katie.
You are in fact right next to the stone,
You
it's
land
like-
right next to the stone.
but you did not completely block it.
You are currently 600 feet. This is not to scale. For reference, this is like the 300-foot mark. I didn't expect them to go this far down, so we got like a logarithmic kind of scale. So yeah, this is you are 600 feet below your friends, bleeding to death in the dark.
Yep.
Cool.
I am impressed that you are alive.
I should take a death saving throw, right?
Yes.
Take it as a saving.
Let me take.
Wait, do you take that when you first fall or at the start of your turn?
I don't know.
Okay, so
I think it's start of your turn.
So you take it at the start of your turn, but you also take your full damage before anything else in your turn. These are two, in Magic the Gathering terms, these are two upkeep actions.
Okay.
I think that you should.
I think actually, strictly speaking, I should have. The falling should have been happening rather than at the start of my turn, at the end of my previous turns. So I actually technically hit the ground at the end of
Okay.
my last round.
Yeah,
Cool.
that makes
So
sense.
I do start my turn
So you
and
start your
then
turn
make a
with
death save.
saving. Yeah.
Cool. All right. That makes
Natural
sense.
20. Come on.
Oh, we saw one the other day.
That's really no. That's it. That's the killer. That's it.
No, because
No, yeah, that is really bad.
That's
That is
two
taking this from
fails.
That is really bad.
Let's make
I
it
understand. I understand. And
I know.
accept this.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
all
crap.
knew
If I
this
die,
was a
I
high
die.
character death possibility game.
I was okay until
Two
that one.
fails.
No, it's
I was
fine.
all right
because
until that one.
It's fine because he'll just roll 13s forever.
Okay. Bird's turn.
It's fine. I'm not going to
Bird's
talk.
turn. So, this bird here. So, the birds can. We've been doing birds. The birds can fall 300 feet, and it's safe because they can fly, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the bird can fall 300 feet and then fall. Yeah, the
Fall.
bird can fall 300 feet.
yeah.
It can fall and then say, I have a fly speed, I'd like to not be falling anymore.
Yeah. So this bird is gonna fall 300 foot towards the dwarf. Siki.
There is dangers in doing that when trying to land on the floor.
Yeah.
Yes.
The last like little bit you gotta like pull up real fast.
Yeah, like I would suggest not if you're when to within 300 because you're 400, you're going to have to do the full 300 or none of it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I would recommend at that point using a dashing fly of 100 feet.
Iona.
Like, yeah. No,
Well,
actually, the smart move thing to do is to fly up about 50 feet and then fall.
No.
That-
Yeah. Okay.
Nah,
It is.
nah.
Yeah. No.
It
Okay.
That's
technically is.
mathematically better, but I don't like it.
Oh, it'll
Well,
save you like 2 turns.
oh.
But, yeah.
I mean, you're not going to be able to fly after that anyway.
Akeem,
All right.
good luck.
So, for the record, I have not yet gendered backup character. So
There is time. There is time.
when I although I do have 2 children, one of whom is about to come of age,
That's true.
and there are plenty of other survivors and plenty of other people who've just moved
plenty of
into the
other people.
fortress.
Yep.
And mostly I'm talking because I love torturing the rest of the party.
You are doing
With the
quite
suspense of this.
successfully.
That would only matter if I liked you.
Oh, fair.
And you didn't have any
Entirely
inspiration
reasonable.
or anything? Like, no one got any of that?
It's death saves are death saves are death saves.
Death
They're
saves
like the
are
one
okay.
thing that they're the one thing that no one gives a fuck about. And those
That's
are the
fair.
rules.
So I have inspiration.
Mhm. Yes, you do.
I'm gonna choose to not use it on this roll.
Okay.
because my hands, my life is in the hands of
Yeah.
Rallin
of
the
luck.
Lucky Contingencies.
The god of luck who you prayed to on the way down.
Yeah.
I like it.
Nuffle, please.
Nuffle
Oh!
wants
Whoa.
me dead.
Oh!
The snake.
Yeah,
the fucking
nah,
snake.
I'm sorry. The god the luck was extremely clear about what should happen here.
You have gobskulled.
I don't fucking believe it. That's incredible.
I can't even be mad at that. That is a very, very clear response from the god in question.
Playing Akeem was Dave Dax Stark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Akeem, after miraculously surviving the fall for just a few seconds, ultimately it was a 600-foot drop, and it did kill him. And Akeem has bled to death at the bottom of a mine shaft.
Yeah.
Good night, sweet prince.
Good night,
I've
sweet
I've
prince.
infected you with that line.
Yeah.
Shit.
The birds presumably...
I don't know, what do the birds do? What do the birds see?
Hang on, I gotta screen cap this shit.
Yeah.
They... I wish I hadn't drawn such a lazy mine shaft for this now. Looking down the mine shaft, they can just see the broken body of Akeem, illuminated by the light of the stone. And it's not really obvious when he passes away. So, Siki at least continues his way down to the body as fast as he can. Only realizing
Probably take a few rounds, yeah.
Yeah, only realizing once he gets there that it's too late. Iona, do you continue to rush down?
Yeah.
You arrive, but you're too late. Akeem is gone.
You do not need it with a fall like that. You do not need a medicine check to know that's a dead dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
He lies sort of sunk in amongst all the rubble at the bottom of the shaft. The broken remains of the lift that once worked here. Rotten bits of wood and broken bits of banister.
Wow.
Illuminated by a small glowing pebble.
Right next to him that he missed.
It's just like gently illuminating the tattered, broken, remains of a face.
He
Oh, that
died
is pretty
keeping
sad.
the fortress safe.
Yeah, that is pretty sad, yeah. What are you gonna do, birds?
Well, it's a pretty long climb back up, but I think she'll take as long as it takes to bring his body back up to the top.
Yeah. Probably both gonna have to walk with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine the two up top having heard some praying, and then not much noise after a while as you two are sort of walking 800 meters at a moment of tension, 30 seconds past. And then,
That takes a long time for them to get back.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think after a bit before we'll cool down. Is everyone alive down there? What's going on?
Sinspeed will at the whichever bird, I forget the name, is sat at the top of the
Peaky, I
hole.
think.
No, not
You-
Peaky. Peaky's by the lever.
Peaky's by the lever. You've
Marina,
got
maybe?
Marina. Yeah.
Marina. He's pretty dour, but he just whistles at her and points down. He's not.
She understands.
Yeah.
And she goes down to meet Iona and Siki. She quickly understands what's happened, and just offers Iona a hug.
Hmm.
Puts a wing around her.
She's not really paying attention. She's just focused on what she's doing.
Yeah. She's got a task. It's keeping her going. Okay. And Marina will, assessing that she's not okay, but she's keeping on going. Will fly back up. No, they're not all. Akeem's gone.
Gone chasing after the. He trails off as if kind of clear that's not what the bird meant. Went off. Bastards. Right. Okay. Well, let's go get him. Start marching down. Doesn't say anything else.
Is there anything I can do? Do you want me to... I guess I should go tell the others? Will you
Not yet.
tell...
He's got kids. Not
Will
yet.
you tell his kids?
Yeah. Yes. That's our job. Right. Tell you what. Keep an eye on someone keep an eye on the mine shafts. Make sure nothing else is coming out.
Okay, we'll stand guard. We can do that.
Cinchbeard,
Uh,
coming?
yeah. Fine.
Somber walk, I think, and probably silence. She's maybe got reached under as she's walking and pulls out her necklace and starts religious symbol and starts fingering it. Planning to meet them, and then sort of planning to go all the way to the bottom, really pick him up and carry him all the way to the top. But
So it takes. It's a lot of walking.
It's 1,000 feet of spiral staircase.
Yeah.
Carrying a body, that takes a while.
It is a long and tiring trip. The Marina and Peaky kind of fly down to both groups periodically, offering to bring them, food, alcohol.
Yeah, the breakfast we didn't have.
The breakfast you didn't have.
Alcohol will be accepted.
alcohol.
Anything else will not be.
Yeah, I think it's true. Just take what is handed off, and then I assume we eventually meet in the middle, or probably not the middle, because I imagine
We'll go down
Yeah.
fast and they will come up. We can do a changeover in one of the platform bits to the people who have strength scores.
It's true. Yeah.
Make it a bit easier.
It's a long, tiring trip. I'm going to move you all. I'm gonna get rid of the mine shaft. Whoops.
Especially poor Iona, who is exhausted.
Hey, it could be worse. Could be if it's another rank. This would be hitting into movement speed.
It's true.
Goodbye, mining pit. For now.
We've had bad experiences with the mining pit.
Gotta update those rails.
Get him out of here.
Oh God! Just see what Katie's put there. So I think we eventually get up to the thing and start taking him.
It's taken kind of in the order of hours to traverse this whole thing.
Yeah.
And while you were down there, because you didn't say otherwise, Marina and Peaky have informed the other dwarves what's happened.
Not the kids, though, right?
Not the kids. Kind of some of the adults and older and generally more authoritative dwarves.
I mean, this is fundamentally a mining accident. We've had these before.
It's true.
So people will know what to do. Keep the young vulnerable clear for the moment, and then brief them later.
Well, I guess get to this. Once we're getting like closer towards where there's like torchlight and stuff upstairs, just like, so where are we going to put him? Till we find somewhere proper for him to rest.
Mhm.
No.
He deserves more than a hole outside. Proper sarcophagus and proper in the mountain. That he named. Okay, right. Just trying to think if there's a suitable place to like lay him up and rest.
The district maybe.
The where?
Isn't it? But I don't know.
I can't hear what you're saying.
Yeah, it's icy as well. Other district probably has tombs in it, but it's not open.
Wait. No, that's true. There's that medical room. Let's put him in there for now.
Yeah. We'll do.
I think as we got to get to the surface and then plan to carry him there.
Yeah.
Walk through, get up here, and then walk through the locked door, but would past where the big stone door is, and I think without breaking stride, just says, lock that behind us, close it up.
They do this. And the big stone door slowly rolls back into place.
Crunch.
And if you give me a moment, I will restore vision to the whole fortress.
Sure.
But it takes me a minute.
Not now, sweetie. You're in the atmosphere.
He can role play the sorcerer's cat.
Okay. Sorry, I have to manually redo this each time.
Yeah, that's alright. It's fine.
I see once we have come out here, there's like an honor guard of dwarves have formed either side.
Yep.
Yes.
Compared to how she was walking through most of it, where she was sort of bent and just doing the drudge work, when she gets up and like can see that there are dwarves up here, she straightens and starts like marching with him as opposed to just like trudging.
Mm-hmm.
Right, where is the map? The map's not thinking. The map's doing the. Oh, I'm moving the lights.
So, out of interest, while the two people with a strength score are carrying body, what is Iona doing? Is she insisting on taking her turn? Is she?
She's following.
Okay. Right. Just letting Katie do her enlightenment.
You have the map.
Okay, I'll just refresh. It's probably a good idea. What does map do?
How to find us?
Exactly. There we are. Cool. All right. Now, where was that medical? We did have. There was like a.
We did. There was the hospital is
Yes.
It's near the entrance to the living district.
There are people in it though.
Yeah, but there's a back room.
It's true. It's taken them.
Which will serve as a morgue.
I'm just gonna drag myself there. Unless
I mean, Katie can mass drag as well.
that's true. We'll let.
I was
Katie.
making eyes at the GM.
Yeah, Katie's in charge of tokens. That's fine. We are heading through to the hospital to lay him out on the back room, which I assume maybe has like a morgue slab or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it can be made to if it doesn't.
And as you reach the top of the staircase, a group of dwarves that have heard what has happened have come to greet you. Stegeth the cook is there. There's Urem is here. They all look somber, but given how much loss they all suffered on the way here, they're not distraught.
Yeah, we are dwarves. Stoic.
Not the honor guard group, but when we pass the second group that's in the center, Trevor will just glance at them and then has a better idea and glances at Iona and just says, "Can you make sure his kids won't in their room or won't see him until we're ready for them to know?" Thank you.
Okay.
So, and you'll hear up here, Iona, the sound of children playing. And you'll see that the kids have been kind of rounded up. I couldn't find the last few. Oh, they're over here. Cheeky. The kids of the fortress have been rounded up, and they're just sort of playing in here. They've set it up as like a bit of a nursery. They're using sheets and scraps of fabric to build little forts. They're just being let loose in here.
That's nice.
A nursery and a former pub. Perfectly dwarven.
I guess I'll just watch them. Think.
Yeah, Akeem's kids are here. They've been rounded up. The older one, the one that's nearly of age, is, not as obviously participating in the playing, but is indulging it when dragged into it by their sibling. And the rest of the procession moves forward. And more dwarves gathered in the central room. More looking somber. Some just a bit upset not upset about Akeem, but also just this is the first time this has happened. This was supposed to be a new fortress, and it seems like you've only just arrived. It's sort of the way of things, but Iona, would you like to rejoin the procession?
She's distracted.
She's joining in with the blanket forts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was her last mission was make sure the kids don't stumble upon this. So as far as I'm concerned, she's doing her job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anyone in the hospital when we get in?
There are two.
There are two dwarves in the hospital. There are a lot of people were sick and injured on your journey. There is one with a very nasty infected leg wound that's not really healing. And there's another one with a sort of, I don't know, some kind of it's kind of flu-y. You don't really know precisely what's wrong, but there's a lot of coughing and general distress.
Entirely reasonable. Okay. Akeem will get placed on a free slab in this back room.
Mm-hmm.
Place him there. Were his effects gathered up?
I will assume so.
I assume so.
Place him on there. we'll do more later. But for now, lay him on his back. Put his axe in his hand, and place his like hands over his chest with like his axe in it, and then place his shield over the top there. Which is, so he's like got his arms crossed, holding half of his axe with his shield like over his chest. Right. We'll do more for you. You'll get a proper send off. We'll return you to the mountain proper. Glances at Singebeard. Any ideas of anything else to do? Now?
No.
Do
I'll see
you
you
want
tomorrow.
you want to say something? To say anything, or is that better done then?
We'll do it then.
Right, yeah. Goodbye, old friend. We'll send you to the Hall of the Ancestors with loudly enough that they hear you coming. Bastards. And walks out. I think that's enough for that now. And yeah, right. I think I'm gonna tell his kids.
Right enough.
Yeah. If you want to go to Urim and see about what we have for a service tomorrow.
Fine.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll. With that, it's time to go to Akeem's rooms, I guess, to check if they're there. I'll knock on the door, see if I get a response. I
No
don't
response?
think I'm going to. So, failing that, it is time to go to the Fearless Ham. Because if the kids are all there, I'm assuming that is a general, like, that is where the kids are. Make our way to the Fearless Ham. And glance around.
Sorry, one sec.
Sorry for doing all this while you're dead, Dave.
It's dead.
Oh no, it's super cool. No sweat.
Yeah, I've sent you messages. I don't know if you're still in the Roll20 window.
Yeah, there's an Akeem here.
There's an Akeem here.
That's fun stuff. So, when I get here, are there a pair of... You know, I should know their names. Can I have their names?
Tiny Akeems.
Yes, 1 second. So the older one, who's about 40 years old, is Cat Deer. And
Cat Deer.
Katdir.
Yep.
It is the dwarven word for glimmer. And the younger one, about 10 years old, is called Almosh.
Almosh, I guess?
Yeah.
I'm saying it, not writing it. Alright, so she'll get in. She'll probably see, I assume, Iona playing with the kids. I say kids, one of them is older than Iona. That's not the point.
They're both older than
Maturity.
Iona.
It's maturity.
Yeah, I think they're both
I
older
do
than
not
Iona.
actually know how to respond to PMs on.
I think if you
Slash
just add a...
W.
Slash
And then-
W. Oh, whisper, right.
I think you can also do a GM message somehow. It's fine. If slash W works, slash W works.
That is fine. I just thought I'd check.
Okay. Walks in, glances. Sees Iona. We'll walk over to see Iona playing various different things with the kids. Watches for a moment rather than just walking in and announcing the kid's name. So when there's a moment and a little break in the play, she'll say, "Oh, sorry to interrupt. What is looks like something awfully busy. But Iona, would you mind if I borrow these two?"
No, go ahead.
Okay, Kadir, Olish, will you come with me a moment?
They nod. Yeah. That. Yeah.
Well,
Sure.
what's that? Let's go have a word in your dad's study. Be right back, guys. I like OC. If I'm taking and doing too much, and someone else wants to be involved, say. I know. Peter's gone AFK, but
I don't really know what to do myself, so
sure.
take the lead.
We'll take them to Akeem's study and close the door.
Mhm.
Right. So, how are you two doing today?
Fine, thanks. Yeah. This weird, this playroom thing. It's been really fun.
It's good. Although it's good that it's fun. Although, I imagine a pair of you, you're a lot more grown up than you look, right? Sort of like glances at Katir as in, I know this is true, but is saying this mostly to Olamosh in that way that you say to young kids, oh, you're a grown up.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, in that case, I think it's fair if I treat you like a proper, responsible dwarf, not just someone playing around, right?
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Then, in that notion, it's my duty to tell you something. And, I think you should sit down for it.
Okay.
You know myself, Iona, and you know Sinchbeard, and you know your father. We've been doing quite a lot for this fortress, haven't we?
Yeah. Yeah, we're really proud of him.
Yeah, you should be. It's. I don't know if it's my place to say, but in my book, the man's a hero. Your dad named this place, and he's fought all sorts of things. Been invaluable, dealing with the people, with the elves, and quite frankly, getting everyone here. Hero is the right word for your dad. Pause. Nod.
Catcher, the older kid, is. You can kind of see in their eyes that they kind of know what's coming.
Which is, yeah. Well, recently, today, you may have heard. He woke up. When we were called, we grabbed our armor and we rushed off, and the fortress called for him to be a hero again today. Akeem being Akeem, he answered with. Well, he answered as he always does, with stoicism and justice. It wasn't just monsters, it was something clever, something nasty threatened this fortress, and we fought honorably, bravely, and thanks to his magic we were able to see off most of these villains, although one escaped down into the dark and into the mines and would have warned however many more of them.
Flailing at you.
Oh, she like knocking on the door?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to get your attention. I did actually get him. So, thumbs up.
Say that again?
No one got away. All the bad guys are dead.
She looks over you, gives you one like solid thank you nod, waits to see if you come in. Good. And then what happened? There was this one escaping person, as you saw, that Akeem knew. Your father knew that if this person escaped, the fortress could be in all amounts of trouble. So he decided to be a hero again, and he, with his magic, he risked himself. He risked himself in a way that I didn't. in a way that no one else did, or indeed no one else could. Akeem did the thing that only Akeem could do, and he made sure that this dwarf did not escape down into the dark to warn all of their dark skin. There's I assume dwarves have a particular dwarvish curse for deep
yeah.
dwarves.
Yeah.
She says it. It's not a very nice word.
Okay.
But that's fine. None of to make sure that they wouldn't get away and try and, But they did. He went down and with, as Iona has just told you, with our captain of the guard's help, made sure that every single one of them didn't get back and report it, and the fortress is safe, thanks to all of us, thanks to the risk that your father took. I've said the word a lot, and I mean it. Your father played the role of the hero today. And I'm afraid part of being a hero sometimes is not being able to come back and see your kids afterwards. He made a choice. He made a choice to keep everyone safe, risking his own life, and as he always does, and this time, this time he's not going to be able to come back to see you. His heroism cost him the ultimate price. And she raises her head, and she looks Kadir in the eye for this, as mostly she's been talking to Olmish, and looks at Kadir and says, "Sorry, but your father did not survive today."
Kadir nods. The voice cracks a bit. I understand. They are both struggling to keep their composure.
Now this means, Katir, that you're going to have to step up. You're the head of this household now, and is Olmosh a boy or is Olmosh a brother or a sister?
I actually didn't define either.
Sure. Well, you're the head of this household now, which means you're going to have to be brave. You're going to have to remember the hero of what your father was. You're going to have to look after your little sibling, just as he looked after you when you were young. Can you do that for me?
Kadir puts their arm around Olmosh. Yes, I understand.
Good. Do either of you want to ask me anything?
Kadir looks a little conflicted. Yes, but not now.
Very well. Very well. If you need me, I'm sure you know where to find me. There will be a service for your father, where those of the gods and of this fortress will say words for him. And he will see the proper. Everyone will get their chance to speak for your father, and I'm sure they will have nothing but greatness to say. I will leave you two now.
Thank you.
She gets up and gives them both a look and says, The fortress was very lucky that Hakim survived the previous one. Everyone here was very lucky, and I am glad that I got to know them.
Thank you.
Leaves them to it.
Is the bird following you, or is the bird just staying in that?
Iona doesn't really have one of those sensors inside that says I should go.
Yep.
We know your charisma score.
She's trying to be motherly now. Offer hugs.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
They'll accept the hug.
all right. Well, I think that means. Yeah. I think with the service being tomorrow, and I think unless anyone else has
Yeah.
anything to do, that's
I think that's everyone.
Yep.
Right.
I don't
That's
imagine
us for
we're doing
today.
anything else today.
No.
playing
Well then.
Akeem. Bard, who needed 3 arms, was the wonderful Dax.
Rest in peace.
F.
F you, chap. Man, I really thought it was just going to be a nice, quiet one today.
Every time you say that, it
It's
never will be.
big drama.
Yeah, we didn't have to go after that guy at all.
That would have been-
I mean, it's like on an OC note, we didn't, but it's probably really good we did, because if this is just like a raiding party of deep dwarfs that have come up and stand the closed door and we're like trying to chisel it or chest it, etc. When we opened it and shown that the fortress was occupied and defended, if someone gets away and scouts and go back to however many big their community is and says, oh yeah, they've taken that fort again, it's defended by armored people in expensive gear, that's how wars start. It's really good they did not have a scout to go back to report to their fortress.
Even what little they saw is valuable tactical information.
But I think
That's a meta thing. So
Chapter 1, survival, is done. I think now we have Chapter 2, the war for the mountain. As it's time to genocide some deep dwarfs.
Oh, thank you very much for playing today, everyone.
yeah,
Thank you for running.
It was a treat.
It was very excellent.
yeah.
It was, yeah. What a way to go.
What a way to go. It's
That was
I've had a
definitely
lot of
okay.
characters over the years, and a lot of them have met some interesting ends, but that is the very first time I have rolled 2 ones in a row.
Yeah, that's.
And honestly, I kind of I'm glad, because I don't think narratively Akeem should have walked away from that one.
That's one of those things where there is a maximum amount of falling damage you can take.
Mhm.
Rules as written. But you fell like 2 or 3 times that distance.
Yeah.
Posted in general is the screen cap of the full damage, and then the double death save.
Yep. That definitely.
Amazing. So, yeah, I think it would have taken, was it 39? So 78. It would have taken 83 damage to insta-give me.
So it was within the realm of possibility.
Oh yeah, 100%, because I had 39 hit points and 39 max hit points and 5 temporary hit points. So, and the temporary hit points only count once. So yeah. I could 100% have been insta-gived. In fact, last level, I suspect.
Oh yeah. If we'd been hit in the fight.
I was going to point out, but I didn't want to point this out while we're having a really dramatic, tense moment. We took 0 damage the entire fight. It was amazing.
Yep.
The player party did. The 2 NPCs immediately got shot.
Yeah, but like, as we pointed out, they're excellent ablative armor. That's true. That was a really good fight and a really cool ending.
Yeah, I'm so stoked for where this is going next.